Let's look at this example. In this example, we're going to make a very basic, nice looking table in Excel with a little bit of a calculation function. This is a decision-making table. It could be very useful in the engineering design process, or you can use it for your own home project or other projects. So basically, this is when you have multiple options for your project and you want to compare them side by side to see what are their strengths or weaknesses, and then you want to make the decision what is the best option. You can make yourself one of these little tables. So over here on the left column, you list all your working criteria, such as the cost, reliability, etc. And then in this column, you assign points to these criteria depending on how important they are. Ideally, the points should sum up to 100. And then you just score your options according to these different criteria, and then add up the total for each option. And then in this example, it looks like option 3 is the one to go. Okay, let's switch to Excel. When we open Excel, the first thing you see will be the templates that could help you quickly create some Excel files. But we're going to start with a blank workbook. And let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay. And these are cells that you can put your data or information or text. Okay. Each cell is specified by a row number and a column number. And also, if you cannot see it very clearly, this is sheet number 1, and you can change this. So Excel is like a notebook. You can add sheets to your notebook. Okay, so let's stick with problem 1. And what I'm trying to do right now is simply input all the information from my table. Let me start from here. And in a reasonable format. Okay, so let me keep doing that, and then I will talk to you when I'm done with this. As you can see now, I have filled in most of the information from my original table. This is my original table. I typed in the data and the text in the corresponding Excel cell position. I haven't filled in all the information, and I haven't done any formatting at all. Over here, I have option 1, and this cell should be option 2 and option 3. I want to show you this. You probably know this already. This handle here can help you automatically fill in information if there's a pattern. So because this cell contains option 1, when I drag the handle over here to the right, as you can see, option 2 and 3 are filled in automatically. Also, I haven't done the summation yet. I don't want to just type in 100 here, because if I type 100 here, this number has nothing to do with all these numbers. It doesn't reflect that it is the summation of these numbers. For example, if I change this one right here, this 100 does not change, even though the sum of all these 5 numbers is no longer 100. Therefore, you want to calculate this number based on the previous numbers. To do that, we use a formula. We can start typing the formula directly in the cell here, or we can move over here right next to this function symbol and start typing. Either way. So we always start with an equal sign, and then we want to reflect that this is the sum of the previous 5 cells, not the numbers themselves. We have to make reference to the cell positions. Therefore, we can simply select all these 5 cells by dragging them. And of course, this is still not enough, because there's no telling Excel that we want to sum these 5 cells together. Therefore, we need to call one of the Excel built-in function, which is the sum function for summation. And you type in the name of the function and the parentheses. As you can see, Excel would give you a hint on the different arguments. In this case, we just put in these numbers and then close the parentheses, and then it will calculate the sum. Or you can do it differently. There's a shortcut button here, auto sum. Therefore, if you highlight these 5 numbers and then click auto sum, it will also sum them up together for you. As you can see, the formula is the same as what we typed in. You can do not only summing, but also average, count numbers, maximum, minimum, etc. That's a nice shortcut. Now, we want to copy this formula to these different cell positions, because for these 3 cells, we want to do the same thing. We want to sum up the columns. There are different ways to do this. We can do the basic Control-C, Control-V, as you are very familiar with. So Control-C, and then highlight these, Control-V. As you can see, it is not the number 100 that got pasted into these 3 cells. It is actually the formula that got pasted. So over here, the formula in this cell address D9, that is the sum of these 5 different numbers in this column. And when that formula gets pasted into the neighboring address E9, when I highlight the formula, you can see that it is the relative position of the previous cells in the formula that got pasted into this cell E9. Okay, therefore, this is exactly what we wanted, because now this cell calculates the sum of all these 5 numbers. This cell calculates the sum of all these numbers, etc. Or if you right click 100, copy, and then right click instead of using Control-V, you will see you have different paste options. This one right here is the default option. It always pastes the formula, but if you do want to paste over the number, the values, you will pick this option. So if you click on this option right here, it is the number 100 that gets pasted over. If you click on every single one of them, you will see that the cell only contains an actual number. It does not contain the formula anymore. And there are other options, obviously. You can paste the formula, you can paste transpose, does not apply in this case, or link or format, etc. In our case, again, we want the default option because we do want to paste over the formula. Or there's another way to do this, probably the fastest way, is again to take advantage of this very useful handle here. So again, when you drag it over, it automatically did the copy and pasting for you. Now the content of our table is completed. We want to work on the formatting. So first, let's change the width of this column so that our words can be shown here. If you put your cursor here, you will see the default width is about 64 pixels. So you can drag it to your desirable width. Now I just want to show all these words here. And I also want to show these. It's probably not enough to show points availability in one line. Therefore, I'm going to click on this cell and then click on wrap text. Therefore, it shows in 2 lines. My option 1, 2, 3 are all fine. I want this cell to be centered. Therefore, I'm going to center it. Okay. These numbers right here, I want to center them as well. This decision-making table currently, this line, this string of words occupies 1 cell. But I can merge all of these 5 cells. So I click on merge and center. So now these 5 cells have been merged into 1 cell, and my text appears nicely in the center. And then I'm going to add some borders. So I want a thick box border, and I also want a thick border here. And I want all my cells have their own borders. Probably it's better to do it this way. Okay, but for whatever reason, I want double borders here and here. Therefore, I'm going to draw my borders. Line color black is fine, that's the automatic color. If I want some fancy colors, I can do that as well. The line style, double. And then you see here, you see this little pencil. You can just go ahead and start drawing. Okay, if you don't like it, you can draw over it, or you can use a little eraser to erase it. And I'm going to change the color into the automatic black color and draw it again. You can change the font as well if you want to. Okay, you can change the font size. Color is the same way as in Microsoft Word. I like this font. And background color, pour some color in there. I got this red. I don't have that shade of red here, unfortunately. So let me do this nice color. And this is a light yellow. And lastly, I have the green. Now this table is completed. Oops, except these, I want them to be sort of floated in the center. Now when I compare this table to my original assignment, some different color, but close enough. So the beauty of this table is that you can actually change the numbers. For example, I don't want to assign 25 to option 3 now. I'm going to assign it 18. And you can see that because this cell automatically sums up these 5 data, therefore this cell changes as well. So you can save this table for future reference for when you do your project in the future.